You felt it just now. That ripple in your chest, like a stone dropped into still water, sending circles of recognition through your very core. That strange electricity sliding across your skin, like goosebumps that didn't ask your permission, didn't wait for fear or cold or surprise. They simply arose, unbidden, ancient, knowing. Pause here. Place your hand on your chest. Do you feel it? The quickening beneath your palm? The subtle shift in your breathing, as if your lungs remember something your mind has forgotten? That is the sign. Not fear. Not accident. Not coincidence wrapped in spiritual language. It is your angel. And they are leaning close, their presence shifting the very molecules of air around you, their voice cutting through the static of daily life with crystalline urgency. Do not skip this. Stay. Listen. This moment, this very moment, is the convergence you have been unconsciously preparing for. Because tonight, in this sacred pause between one breath and the next, the veil between what you prayed for and what is rushing to meet you has thinned to gossamer. The membrane between hoping and having has become permeable, translucent, ready to dissolve entirely. Congratulations. Yes, congratulations. Not for what you have done, but for what you have become. For the invisible work of your soul, the underground labor of your spirit, the patient tending of faith even when the ground seemed barren. Because the miracle you thought was far away, distant as tomorrow's dawn, unreachable as yesterday's dreams, has already arrived. Do you feel the weight of those words settling into your bones? Say them softly to yourself, let them roll across your tongue like honey, like medicine, like the first word of a prayer you didn't know you were ready to speak. Your miracle has arrived. This is not flattery dressed in mystical clothing. This is not empty comfort offered to soothe a restless heart. This is your cosmic call to notice, to open your eyes wider than comfort allows, to see with the vision your soul was born possessing. Something in you has been restless for longer than you care to admit. Like a bird trapped behind your ribs, wings beating against the cage of your chest, aching for open sky, for horizons that stretch beyond the boundaries of what you've known. You felt it stirring in the quiet moments, when you're washing dishes and suddenly stop, hands suspended in soapy water, because something indefinable has shifted in the atmosphere around you. When you're driving and catch yourself holding your breath, as if listening for a sound that exists just beyond the range of human hearing. You've been asking questions in the silence of your most private moments, haven't you? Questions that feel too vulnerable to speak aloud, too raw to expose to daylight. Why the delay? Why does every door seem to creak shut just as I reach for the handle? Why the silence? Why do my prayers seem to dissolve into empty air, unanswered, unacknowledged? Why the wait? Why does this longing feel heavier with each passing season, each broken promise, each hope deferred? And now, listen with every fiber of your being. Your angel answers not with explanations that would satisfy your mind, but with presence that fills your entire existence. A presence you can feel even now, in the shift of the air around you, subtle as perfume but undeniable as gravity. In the strange heat blooming at the base of your neck, the electricity dancing along your spine, the sudden awareness that you are not alone in this moment. Your angel speaks. The questions were not punishment. They were preparation. Each why carved space in your heart for the miracle to inhabit. Each moment of waiting refined your ability to recognize the sacred when it finally reveals itself. You have 48 hours. Not to panic, not to scramble through your life searching desperately for signs that may or may not appear. Not to manufacture meaning from coincidence or force significance into ordinary moments. But to prepare. To attune yourself to the frequency of the miraculous. To clean the windows of your perception so that when the light comes, and it is coming, you will not mistake it for mere sunshine. Because in the next 2 days, the first sign will reveal itself with unmistakable clarity. Maybe as 11:11 glowing on a clock when you're not looking for it, when your eyes happen to fall on the numbers at the precise moment they align, and something in your chest leaps with recognition, as if your soul has been waiting for this appointment. Maybe as a song from your past, floating through a stranger's radio, pouring from a coffee shop speaker, humming unbidden from your own lips. A song that carries more than melody, that pierces straight into your bones and awakens memories you thought you'd forgotten. Lyrics that seem written for this exact moment, for your exact circumstances, for the precise ache in your heart. Maybe as a dream that feels less like imagination and more like memory, too sharp to dismiss, too vivid to categorize as mere sleep. A dream where you wake with the taste of eternity on your tongue, where the boundary between sleeping and waking blurs until you're not sure which state contains more truth. When you see it, when you hear it, when you feel it settling into your awareness like a key turning in a long-locked door, do not brush it off. Do not let the rational mind, trained in skepticism and comfortable with limitations, convince you that significance is illusion. Because here is the warning your angel whispers with trembling urgency. If you ignore it, if you turn away from the signs with practiced dismissal, the ache inside will grow louder. That ache of almost missed destiny, of walking past what was meant for you, of being so close to the miracle that you can feel its heat but choosing to remain outside in the cold. Your angel refuses to let that happen. That is why your eyes are still here, still moving across these words, still allowing this message to seep into the spaces between your thoughts. That is why your heart is beating with just a little more intensity than it was 5 minutes ago. So pause. Breathe deeper than you have all day. Hand on your chest. Yes, now. Press your palm against the place where your heart drums its ancient rhythm, that quiet percussion that has been counting the moments until this one. Do you feel it? The rhythm that connects you to every human who has ever lived, who has ever hoped, who has ever stood on the threshold between what was and what could be. The quiet drumbeat of life reminding you with every pulse, you are still becoming. The story is not finished. The miracle is not impossible. Repeat this sacred motif with me, let it flow through your voice and into the world. Your miracle has arrived. Say it once for your mind, the part of you that analyzes, questions, seeks proof. Let these words be the evidence your intellect has been demanding. Say it once for your body, the vessel that carries your dreams, the temple that houses your spirit, the instrument through which the miraculous expresses itself in physical reality. Say it once for your soul, the eternal part of you that recognizes truth beyond logic, that remembers what you came here to experience, that has been patiently waiting for this moment of reunion with its highest purpose. Now do this sacred work. Write down one thing you're ready to release. Not just anything, the thing. The weight you've carried so long you've forgotten it's not part of you. The fear that whispers you're not enough. The belief that good things happen to other people. The story that tells you miracles are for saints and you are too ordinary, too flawed, too late. Write it down and feel the relief of naming it, of pulling it from the shadows into the light where it can begin to dissolve. Write down one thing you're ready to receive. Be bold here. Be specific. Don't hedge with, if it's meant to be, or whatever is best. Your angel wants to know what your heart truly desires. Peace that doesn't depend on circumstances? Love that sees you completely and stays? Abundance that flows without strain? The work that feels like play? Health that radiates from the inside out? Name it. Claim it. Give the universe something concrete to deliver. Whisper aloud, I am ready to notice. Let your voice carry this declaration into the invisible realms where agreements are made, where intentions take root, where the architecture of miracles begins to form. You are not begging. You are not pleading. You are stating your readiness to participate in your own transformation. Watch within 48 hours for the sign, number, song, or dream. But watch with soft eyes, not the hard stare of desperation. Watch with the gentle awareness of someone expecting a beloved friend, someone who knows the knock when it comes. Pause. Take 3 deep breaths. Because there is something I must reveal now, something hidden behind every word you've read, woven into the fabric of this message like a golden thread through dark cloth. Lean in. Let your breathing slow until it matches the rhythm of eternity itself. Let silence fall around you like snow, soft and complete and sacred. Here it is, the truth that will shift everything. The miracle you long for was never absent. It was never lost in some cosmic filing system, misplaced by an inattentive universe. It was never late, according to some divine schedule you cannot see. It has been circling you like a patient hawk, waiting for the perfect thermal, gathering strength like a storm gathering light. Your waiting was not empty time, not wasted seasons, not evidence of heaven's forgetfulness. Your waiting was gestation. Womb time. the dark, fertile space where impossibilities transform into inevitabilities. Like the seed underground, quiet, invisible to surface dwellers, but alive with unstoppable growth, drawing nutrients from soil and moisture from rain, preparing for the moment when it will break through earth into sunlight. And tonight, yes, tonight, the soil above you has finally cracked. The veil between hidden and revealed has shifted like curtains stirred by an otherworldly wind. The unseen becomes seen. The hidden truth rises to the surface like air bubbles in deep water, rising, always rising, until they burst into breathable atmosphere. Your angel leans closer now, their voice both thunder that shakes mountains and whisper that moves through grass. You thought you were waiting on the miracle. But the miracle was waiting on you. Do you feel it? The heat behind your eyes, not the sting of tears but the warmth of recognition? The pressure in your chest, not the weight of anxiety but the expansion of understanding? That is not emotion, that is memory returning. You are not hearing this for the first time. You are remembering what your soul signed up for before you were born, the agreement you made in realms beyond memory. But hear me clearly, beloved. There is a stake in this moment, a crossroads that demands choice. There is always a stake when the miraculous breaks through into ordinary time. Free will remain sacred, even in the face of divine intervention. The universe will not override your choice, even if that choice leads you away from your highest good. If you turn away now, if you close your ears to this moment with the practiced deafness of those who have been disappointed before, the door will not vanish. Miracles are not so fragile. But it will remain unopened, and you will remain outside, and the ache will echo louder tomorrow than it did yesterday. Yet, and this is where comfort flows like healing balm over fear, your angel will not let you wander far from your destiny. They are stubborn in their love, relentless in their devotion, persistent as tide returning to shore. That is why you are here now, reading these words that seem written for your specific heart, for your particular ache, for the exact shape of your longing. Even if you walked away right now, even if fear won this moment's battle, your angel would find other ways to call you home. Other signs, other messengers, other moments when the veil grows thin. Because your miracle is not dependent on your perfection. It is drawn by your willingness. And willingness can be cultivated, can be rekindled, can be fanned from ember into flame. Say this motif again and feel how it grows stronger with repetition. Your miracle has arrived. Not tomorrow when you've figured out how to deserve it. Not next year when you've become the person you think you need to be. Not someday when the stars align and circumstances cooperate and you feel ready enough, worthy enough, prepared enough. No, here. In this very breath that you're taking as you read these words. Imagine it with all the power of your unleashed imagination. A veil lifting, not the dramatic tearing of Hollywood movies but the gentle release of silk from sleeping skin, gossamer dissolving in morning light, mist parting to reveal the mountain that was always there. A dawn breaking, not just the sun cresting the horizon but light returning to a world that had forgotten color, illumination spreading like hope through the valleys of your life, touching everything with golden possibility. A heavy chain slipping from your wrists, not with the clang of metal but with the whisper of liberation, the sudden lightness that comes when you realize the lock was never real, the weight was never necessary, the prison was always unlocked from the inside. This is the hidden truth revealed tonight for those with eyes to see. You are already closer than you think. So much closer that if you reached out your hand right now, you could touch the edge of your new reality. You are already standing at the threshold, toes at the very line between what was and what will be. All that is left, and this is everything and nothing at once, is to step through. Do this now with the reverence of one handling holy things. Close your eyes for 60 seconds. Not to escape this moment but to enter it more fully, to step below the surface chatter of mind into the deeper waters where soul dwells, where truth speaks in languages older than words. Picture a locked door in front of you. See it clearly, the wood, the metal, the handle that has refused to turn despite your attempts. But look closer now. See how the lock has been loosening, how the hinges have been oiled by invisible hands, how light has been gathering on the other side, pressing against the barrier between you and your miracle. Whisper 3 times, I am ready to open. Feel how each repetition carries more power than the last, how your voice gains authority as you speak your willingness into existence. This is not begging, this is declaring. This is not hoping, this is choosing. Imagine the lock clicking free, light spilling out. See it pouring through the growing gap like liquid gold, like morning sun through bedroom curtains, like the first light after the longest night. Feel that light touching your skin, warming your face, filling your lungs with the breath of infinite possibility. Your angel smiles, not the distant benevolence of marble statues but the intimate joy of a parent watching their child take first steps, of a gardener seeing the first green shoots push through soil, of love itself witnessing the moment when hope becomes reality. The miracle leans forward, no longer content to wait at the threshold but eager to step into your life, to take residence in the space you've prepared through your willingness, your watching, your sacred yes. The truth stands revealed like a flag unfurled in wind, unmistakable and undeniable. Your miracle has arrived. Do you know how your angel speaks to you? Not always in lightning that splits the sky and writes messages in fire across the heavens. Not always in booming voices that shake foundations and stop traffic. Not always in the dramatic manifestations that make compelling stories but leave ordinary hearts wondering if the divine speaks only to extraordinary souls. Sometimes, often they speak in whispers. In echoes that hide inside ordinary moments like seeds inside fruit, waiting for the right conditions to sprout into recognition. They slip messages into your day like folded notes tucked into coat pockets, like love letters hidden in lunch boxes, like breadcrumbs on a path you didn't know you were walking. A lyric that pierces you when you weren't even listening to music, when your mind was occupied with groceries or deadlines or the dozen small concerns that usually crowd your awareness. Suddenly, words reach through the static and speak directly to the ache you've carried so long you thought it was just part of your anatomy. A dream so vivid you wake with your chest burning, your body confused about which reality is more real, the one where miracles are possible or the one where you've learned to expect less than your heart desires. You carry the dream with you through morning coffee and afternoon meetings, wondering if sleep has become a doorway to truth your waking mind isn't ready to accept. A number glowing at just the right second when your eyes happen to fall exactly where they need to be. 1111 blessing your peripheral vision. 222 appearing on receipts and license plates and digital clocks. 777 marking moments when the sacred breaks through into the mundane and reminds you that pattern exists even in chaos. Do you see it? Do you hear it? Do you feel the intelligence behind these moments? The loving intention that arranges circumstances so that just the right message finds just the right heart at just the right moment? This is not random. Random is a word for minds that have forgotten how to recognize design. These are the messengers of your miracle, the advanced team preparing you for the main event, the gentle knocks that announce, prepare, prepare. Something wonderful is coming. But pause here, beloved, because your angel's voice carries both honey and lightning, both comfort and holy urgency. If you dismiss the signs as coincidence, if you harden your heart with the practiced cynicism of those who have been disappointed before, if you shrug away the sacred with the casual gesture of someone who has forgotten how to hope, you will feel the weight grow heavier. Like walking with stones sewn into your pockets, each step more labored than the last. Like watching rain fall from gray skies and refusing to lift your face to receive what heaven offers freely. Like standing at a feast and insisting you're not hungry, even as your soul starves for the nourishment it recognizes but your mind rejects. The ache of almost missed destiny will sharpen until it cuts through sleep and disturbs dreams, until it colors every joy with the shadow of what might have been, until it becomes the background hum of a life lived just slightly off-key from its intended melody. And your angel is crying out across the space between visible and invisible, between hoped for and here now. No, not this time. Not you. I will not let you walk past your miracle because fear has convinced you that disappointment is safer than hope. But comfort comes again, flowing like cool water over burning stone because you are hearing this. Because your eyes are still engaged with these words, still allowing this message to penetrate the defenses you've built around your most vulnerable dreams. Because you are awake enough to notice the nudges, sensitive enough to feel the electricity that precedes lightning, open enough to consider that maybe, just maybe, this time is different. Your angel is not angry with your doubts. How could they be? They see the scars that skepticism has formed over a heart that dared to hope too many times, that reached for brass rings that turned to dust, that believed in promises that dissolved like sugar in rain. They are patient as mountains are patient, as oceans are patient, as love itself is patient with the beloved who has forgotten their worth. They are fierce in their devotion, protective as a mother bird over her nest, determined as sunrise over horizon. They will not let you go unheard. They will not let your miracle pass by while you're distracted by the thousand small crises that seem so urgent but pale beside the magnitude of what's trying to break through into your life. So when the sign appears, and it will appear as certainly as tomorrow will follow today, when the song plays with lyrics that seem lifted from your journal, when the dream returns with details too specific to dismiss, when the number burns before your eyes with the intensity of neon in darkness, stop. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are, whoever you're with, stop. Let the moment expand around you like ripples in a pool, like the pause between lightning and thunder, like the held breath before a baby's first cry. Breathe. Not the shallow breathing of anxiety, but the deep, conscious breathing of recognition, of welcome, of one who has been waiting and finally sees the beloved approaching. Smile. Even if you don't understand yet, even if questions crowd your mind, even if the rational part of you insists on explanations. Smile because your soul recognizes what your mind is still learning to accept. Whisper softly, like a prayer, like a greeting, like the first words of a conversation you've been rehearsing your entire life. I see you. That simple recognition is the gate creaking open on hinges that have been waiting for your acknowledgement. That small act of noticing is the seed of the miracle unfolding, the first note of a song that will grow into symphony, the single yes that opens 1,000 doors. Say the motif with me now and feel how it resonates differently when spoken with recognition rather than hope. Your miracle has arrived. Say it when you see the number glowing like a beacon in your peripheral vision. Say it when you hear the lyric that stops your heart and restarts it in a different rhythm. Say it when you wake from the dream that feels more like memory than imagination. Say it until your own voice convinces your spirit of what is already true, has always been true, will always be true. Do this now and carry this practice forward into the days that follow. Keep a small piece of paper or your phone nearby. Not as a burden, not as another task on an endless list, but as a sacred vessel, a receiving bowl for the messages that are already on their way to you. When a sign appears, number, song, or dream, write it down immediately. Before the rational mind has time to edit, before doubt has time to whisper, it's nothing, before the momentum of daily life carries you past the sacred into the mundane. Capture it like morning light in a jar, like the first snowflake of winter, like a butterfly that lands trustingly on your outstretched hand. Whisper, I see you. I accept you. Let these words be your response to every sign, your greeting to every messenger, your welcome mat laid out before the door of your awareness. You are not passive in this process. You are an active participant, a conscious collaborator in your own miracle. Place your hand over your heart for 3 breaths, sealing the recognition. Feel the warmth of your palm against your chest, the steady rhythm beneath your ribs, the expanding space where miracle takes root. Each breath draws in possibility, each exhale releases resistance, each heartbeat drums the rhythm of welcome. And hear this truth that your angel speaks with the authority of eternal love. The signs are not the miracle itself. They are the knock on the door, the announcement of approach, the advanced team preparing your heart for the main event. The door that is already beginning to open, slowly at first like dawn, then faster like hope, then wide like arms embracing what has been too long absent. Your angel is sending the messengers not to tease you with glimpses of what cannot be reached, not to torment you with visions of what remains forever just beyond your grasp. They send the signs to tell you, get ready. Prepare the guest room of your heart. Set the table of your expectations. Polish the windows of your perception. The reversal is already moving through dimensions you cannot see, gathering momentum like an avalanche of grace, approaching your reality with the unstoppable force of love itself. The miracle is not approaching from some distant realm like a ship on a far horizon. It is already pressing against the threshold of your life, already testing the boundaries between what was and what will be. But let me speak with absolute clarity, with the directness that love demands. If you turn back now, if you say, "This is too much," or "This is not for me," or "I'm not the kind of person miracles happen to," the door may stand open. Miracles are not so fragile that they collapse at the first sign of human hesitation. But you will remain outside, and tomorrow you will feel the ache of almost touched destiny more sharply than you have ever felt it before. That is the danger. That is the small threat that hovers at the edges of this moment like shadow at the edges of light. Yet comfort follows immediately, because your angel has no intention of letting you stay behind, of watching you choose smallness when magnificence is within reach. They are pulling you forward with the gentle insistence of tide, hand on your shoulder like a beloved friend who won't let you sell yourself short, voice like both thunder that commands attention and lullaby that soothes fear. Step closer. Don't be afraid of your own magnificence. Don't be afraid of receiving what you've always deserved. The reversal is waiting for your yes, but it will not wait forever. Choose now. Choose life. Choose the miracle that has already chosen you. You have stepped to the threshold. You have felt the hinge creak under the weight of possibility, the door tremble with anticipation, the chains snap with the sound of freedom realized. But now comes the test few ever expect, the examination that sorts the merely hopeful from the truly ready. Waiting. Yes, waiting. But not the empty waiting of those who have given up hope. Not the passive waiting of those who expect others to solve what they must participate in solving. Not the bitter waiting of those who count each delay as evidence of cosmic indifference. Sacred waiting. Active waiting. Waiting as proof of your readiness, proof of your faith, proof of your willingness to stand in the space between no longer and not yet, to inhabit the fertile darkness where miracles gestate. The truth that most never learn is this. Some miracles arrive like lightning, splitting the sky with sudden illumination, changing everything in the space between one heartbeat and the next. But others arrive like sunrise, the light already on its way, already painting the far edges of the horizon with promise, but the world still looks dark for a little while longer. Not because the sun is not rising, but because dawn is a process, a gradual revelation, a slow unveiling of what was always true but temporarily hidden. Can you endure those final moments before dawn breaks fully over your life? Can you hold the flame of hope steady even when the night tries to whisper its old lies? It's not coming. You misunderstood. You hoped for nothing? Can you trust in the light when darkness still presses against your windows? Here is the small threat that must be acknowledged. If you let impatience poison your spirit, if you let doubt chew holes in the fabric of your faith, if you let the old voices convince you that this time will be like all the others, you may walk away just before the miracle bursts into full flower. You may shut the door again with your own hands just as it begins to swing wide. You may turn your back on the sunrise just as the first rays clear the mountains of your resistance. But, listen, comfort flows like water over fire, cooling what burns, soothing what aches. Your angel will not let you wander far from your destiny. Even if you stumble, even if fear wins a battle or two, even if you need to learn the same lesson multiple times before it roots deep enough to change you, they will tug, they will call, they will pull you back with the patient persistence of love itself. Because the miracle is too close now to be abandoned. The momentum is too strong to be stopped by temporary doubt. The alignment is too perfect to be dismantled by human hesitation. Your angel does not speak only in comfort, only in soothing words that calm the surface of troubled waters. They also give instructions, simple, direct, sacred, because miracles do not fall like rain on closed umbrellas. They bloom in hands that are open, ready, actively reaching toward what approaches. So here are the 4 sacred gates, 4 doorways you can walk through, 4 rituals that align your breath with the miracle already pressing against your life like dawn pressing against horizon. First gate, the sacred writing. Take pen, paper, or the glowing screen that holds these words. Feel the weight of the instrument in your hand, the potential that flows through ink or light, the power of giving form to the formless. Write down one thing you are ready to release. Not just anything that bothers you, but the thing, the core weight that has been your constant companion, the familiar burden you've carried so long you forgot it wasn't part of your essential self. Name it clearly, specifically, without euphemism or spiritual bypass. Fear that whispers you're not worthy of good things. doubt that insists miracles happen to other people, shame that colors every joy with the shadow of unworthiness, the voice that has become so familiar you mistake it for truth when it is only old conditioning wearing the mask of wisdom. Then, on the same page, not on a different sheet, not in a separate document, but in the same sacred space, write down one thing you are ready to receive. Be bold here. Be specific. Be audacious in your willingness to name what your heart has been whispering in the dark when it thought no one was listening. Peace that doesn't depend on perfect circumstances. Joy that bubbles up from an internal spring. Provision that flows without strain or struggle. Love that sees all of you and chooses to stay. Health that radiates from the inside out. Work that feels like play, like purpose, like the perfect intersection of gift and need. The healing of relationships that have been fractured by misunderstanding. The resolution of conflicts that have drained your energy for too long. The restoration of dreams that seemed to die but were only sleeping, waiting for the right season to bloom again. Name it without apology, without hedging with, if it's meant to be, or whatever is best. Your angel wants to know what your heart truly desires, not what your conditioning says is appropriate to want. As you write, feel the weight shifting from your chest to the page, from internal pressure to external release. Feel your angel lifting what you're ready to let go, holding it with the tenderness of one who understands the courage it takes to release what no longer serves. Feel them receiving what you're ready to accept, preparing pathways for it to flow into your experience. Second gate, the sacred light. If you can light a candle and watch it flicker to life, that small miracle of flame emerging from darkness, of light conquering shadow with the simple application of spark to wick. If you cannot light a physical flame, close your eyes and picture one. See it as clearly as if it were before you, dancing in the slight breeze of your breathing, alive and responsive and utterly present in this moment. That flame is more than symbol, more than pretty metaphor dressed in spiritual language. That flame is your spirit made visible, your hope given form, your faith burning bright against the darkness of uncertainty. Watch it flicker in your imagination or before your eyes, alive, burning, refusing to be swallowed by the dark that surrounds it. Every flame is a small victory of light over shadow, of presence over absence, of being over nothingness. That flame is your angel's reminder that darkness cannot last forever, that shadows exist only in the absence of light, that dawn always follows the longest night. Whisper into the flame, whether real or imagined, these words that carry the weight of sacred declaration: I am ready. The words do not need to be loud enough to wake the neighbors or confident enough to convince skeptics. Whispers shake eternity when spoken with sincerity, when breathed from a heart that has decided to believe despite evidence to the contrary, when offered from a soul that chooses hope over the safety of low expectations. I am ready, not for perfection but for possibility. Not to have all the answers but to live the questions. Not to control outcomes but to participate in the mystery. Ready to receive what you cannot earn, to experience what you cannot manufacture, to be surprised by grace that operates according to laws higher than logic. Third gate, the sacred watching. Now open your eyes to the world with new vision, with the soft awareness of one expecting messages from beloved friends, signs from invisible allies, confirmations from the realm where miracles are as natural as breathing. Signs will appear. Not maybe, not if you're spiritual enough or worthy enough or patient enough. They will appear because your angel has already set them in motion, because the universe responds to readiness with communication, because love always finds a way to reach the beloved. On clocks that catch your eye at just the right moment. 11:11 like a gateway opening, 2:22 like a promise doubling back on itself, 3:33 like Trinity blessing your peripheral vision, 4:44 like stability arriving in your experience, 5:55 like change announcing its approach. In lyrics that pour from radios and streaming services and the humming of strangers, songs from your past that carry more than melody, words that seem written for your exact circumstances, harmonies that unlock emotions you thought you'd buried, rhythms that match the beating of your awakening heart. In dreams that cling to you after waking like perfume on skin, like salt air after a day at the ocean. Visions that feel more real than reality, conversations with beings you recognize but cannot name, landscapes that exist nowhere on earth but everywhere in the geography of soul. Do not shrug them away with the practiced dismissal of minds trained in skepticism. Do not let the rational voice, uncomfortable with mystery, convince you that significance is illusion and pattern is projection. They are the gentle knock of your miracle, the secret signals of your angel saying, "Closer, closer, closer." They are breadcrumbs on the path back to your true home, coordinates in the navigation system of the miraculous. Keep record of them like a scientist documenting phenomena, like an artist collecting inspiration, like a lover preserving letters from the beloved. Write them down in the margins of your life, in notebooks, on phone screens, in the sacred space between sleeping and waking where truth speaks most clearly. Mark them as sacred not because they are strange but because they are communication, not because they are mysterious but because they are meaningful, not because they defy logic but because they operate according to a higher logic that the heart understands even when the mind demands explanation. Fourth gate, the sacred acceptance. When the sign appears, when the number glows before your eyes like neon in darkness, when the lyric pierces through the static of daily noise, when the dream leaves you gasping with recognition, do this. Place your hand over your heart, that ancient gesture of sincerity, of truth-telling, of connection to the rhythm that has been beating since before you were born and will continue after you return to the mystery from which you came. Feel the warmth of your palm against your chest, the life pulsing beneath your ribs, the miracle of circulation that happens without your conscious control, the gift of breath that arrives moment by moment without your having to earn it. Say aloud, even if your voice trembles with emotion or doubt, even if the words feel too bold for your usual way of speaking. Thank you. I accept. Not, thank you if this is really a sign. Not, I accept if I deserve it. Not qualified acceptance hedged with conditions and escape clauses. Simple, direct, unequivocal, thank you. I accept. Thank you for seeing me, for remembering my name, for not giving up on my willingness to believe. Thank you for speaking in languages my heart understands even when my mind demands translation. Thank you for the patience to communicate through symbols and synchronicities until I learn to recognize the voice of love. I accept this message as real communication from realms beyond the visible. I accept this sign as confirmation that I am not forgotten, not abandoned, not walking alone through the landscape of my longing. I accept that miracles are not violations of natural law but expressions of laws too beautiful for cynicism to comprehend. That acceptance, spoken aloud into the space between you and the infinite, is the seal, the signature, the cosmic contract where heaven meets earth, where promise meets readiness, where the invisible becomes visible through the alchemy of acknowledgement. That is the invisible handshake between your soul and the forces that conspire for your highest good. That is the key turning in the final lock, the last barrier dissolving, the doorway opening wide. Do this now, before doubt has time to rebuild its familiar fortress, before the voice of old disappointments finds its way back to the microphone of your attention. Write what you will release and what you will receive. Let your hand move across paper or screen as if guided by wisdom greater than your own conscious mind, as if your angel were directing the pen, as if the words were coming from the place where all true knowing lives. Light a flame, or imagine one burning before you, and whisper, I am ready. Feel the words creating the reality they describe, opening pathways and dimensions you cannot see but your soul recognizes as home. Watch for the sign with the patient alertness of love. Not the desperate scanning of anxiety but the soft awareness of one who knows the beloved is approaching, who can feel the change in the air that announces their arrival. When it comes, and it will come, place your hand on your heart and say, Thank you. I accept. Let these words be the bridge between longing and having, between hoping and receiving, between the miracle as possibility and the miracle as lived experience. Your angel stands ready at the threshold between worlds, 1 foot in the invisible realm of pure potential, 1 foot in the visible world where potential becomes experience. The miracle leans forward with the eager anticipation of one who has been preparing for this moment through seasons of seeming delay, through months of apparent silence, through the long darkness that always precedes the most brilliant dawn. The 4 gates are open like arms extended in welcome, like doors swinging wide in invitation, like the very fabric of reality parting to let you pass through into the life you were always meant to live. Step through. Do not delay while doubt rebuilds its arguments. Do not hesitate while fear whispers its familiar warnings. Do not wait for permission from voices that have never dared to hope for miracles themselves. Because already the whisper returns, steady and unstoppable as tide, as certain as sunrise, as inevitable as love finding its way to the beloved. Your miracle has arrived. Pause here. This is not a pause in the action but a pause that is itself sacred action. Breathe slowly, intentionally, consciously. Let each inhale draw in possibility and each exhale release resistance. Feel your lungs expanding like flowers opening to sun, like hearts opening to love, like souls opening to the miraculous. Place your hands on your chest, over your heart, and feel the hollowness that fear once occupied now filling with warmth, light, presence that feels more real than anything you have touched with your physical hands. This is not imagination filling empty space with pretty pictures. This is recognition of what was always there beneath the layers of protection, the accumulated weight of caution, the armor of expectations managed low. This is your blessing of release, the angel continues, and their voice carries the authority of one who has witnessed countless liberations, countless moments when souls remember their true size. This is the moment where what you have carried is replaced with what you were always meant to receive. Step forward now with hands open like flowers opening to rain, like children opening presents, like hearts opening to love they thought they had lost the capacity to feel. Step forward with eyes bright, not with the artificial brightness of denial but with the genuine radiance of one who has seen through the illusion and remembered the truth. Step forward with heart wide, not defended against future disappointment but expanded to contain the magnitude of what approaches your life. You are ready now in ways you could not have been yesterday, in ways that only someone who has carried weight can be ready for lightness, in ways that only someone who has known thirst can be ready for water. You are ready. Repeat the motif now and feel how it vibrates at a different frequency than when you first encountered it. Your miracle has arrived. Say it as if the chains have not just loosened but shattered completely, scattered like leaves in autumn wind, like ashes in sacred fire, like darkness when light finally breaks through. Say it as if the door has not just cracked open but swung wide like arms extended in welcome, like gates opening for a celebration, like the very fabric of reality parting to let you pass through into the life you were always meant to live. Say it as if every cell in your body knows with the certainty of instinct, with the confidence of birds that know when to migrate. Yes, it is here. Yes, it is real. Yes, it is mine. Do this now, sealing what has been received, anchoring what has been released. Close your eyes and picture the weight you have been carrying. See it clearly, its shape, its color, its texture. Thank it for the lessons it taught, the strength it helped you develop, the compassion it deepened in your heart. Then watch it transform from burden into gift, from weight into wings, from limitation into liberation. Whisper with all the sincerity your heart can summon, I release this burden. Feel the words carrying away what no longer serves, clearing space for what wants to emerge, making room for the miracle that has been waiting in the wings of your life. Imagine it dissolving like sugar in water, turning into light like darkness at dawn, leaving your body lighter, freer, more spacious than it has been in longer than you can remember. Feel yourself rising like helium balloons released into sky, like birds catching thermals, like spirits remembering they were never meant to be earthbound. Open your hands and heart, feeling them expand like flowers opening to perfect weather, ready to receive what has been prepared for you in the invisible realms where miracles are as natural as breathing. The miracle presses closer now, no longer content to wait at the threshold but eager to step fully into your experience, to take up residence in the space you have prepared through your willingness, your watching, your sacred yes to the impossible becoming possible. And your angel stands beside you like a guardian, like a friend, like love itself witnessing the moment when what was always true finally becomes experienced truth. One hand on your shoulder, eyes steady with the certainty of one who has seen this story unfold countless times and knows how it ends. You have done what was needed. You have prepared the way. You have released what blocked the flow. Now receive what has always been yours. Accept what has always been waiting. Your miracle has arrived. Say it aloud one final time, and let the words carry the weight of absolute truth, the authority of one who has stepped fully into their power, the joy of one who has finally come home. Your miracle has arrived. Breathe it into every cell. Feel it in every heartbeat. Know it with every fiber of your being. Live it with every moment that follows. Amen. Blessed be. And so it is.